Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know our next guest from her roles in classic films like Zodiac, Blue Thunder, Fat City, and American Graffiti. Throughout the years, she's been taking Polaroids of her colleagues, and she's now compiled them in a new book, Tight Heads. We welcome to AM Northwest actress, photographer, and author Candy Clark. Hi, Candy. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Let's start at the beginning with how you picked up your Polaroid camera. Like, where did you get that, and how fun was that to start using it? Because it's like magic when you take a Polaroid shot, isn't it?
It is. I started out as a model, and when photographers first took a picture, they tested the light. So they had the early Polaroids where they were only black and white, and they rubbed this vinegar smelling stuff on there.
Oh.
But that graduated to the full color Polaroid, and I just kept following the camera. I loved it that it was instant, and so did everyone else. It was totally magical. No one had seen anything like that. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And the book that you have put together is so beautiful. You write essays with each Polaroid, and it's fun to kind of relive your life. Like, you have pictures of all these people that you've worked with or who have been friends with you. How did the book come about?
Sam Sweet. I was doing an interview with, just kind of like I'm doing an interview with you, and he was doing interviews about the 1970s, and a friend had suggested me because I was here during that era, and we talked about what we used to do, what I used to do in the 70s, party hop and all of this stuff. And he said, well, do you have anything to show me that I can include in the interview from the 70s? I said, well, I have all these Polaroids. And he said, let me see them. So I showed him the Polaroids, and he said, let's make a book with this. I said, if you do all the work, they've been sitting in a drawer for 50 years. I mean, obviously, I didn't know how to get started, and I really didn't have see the value in them. They were just kind of personal pictures of, us back then, all kind of on a level playing field, starting off. And it was interesting looking back to see where everyone wound up, who became super successful, who became successful, who became a bank robber. And it was just interesting to see life's trajectory for each person, even though we kind of started out, the similar starting line.
You're very honest in this book, too, which is awesome. Let's talk a little bit about Jeff Bridges, a great Polaroid shot of him.
There's Jeff.
Tell me about your relationship with him.
It's still very good. Jeff Bridges is the one that taught me how to drive a Volkswagen.
No way, really?
Good old Jeff.
Yeah, that's great. Let's talk about American Graffiti, because how incredible was that? Nominated for an Oscar, and that experience and the pictures you took then. Tell me about that experience.
Shooting American Graffiti was a bit of a hardship. We shot at night, 28 nights, and it was cold. We shot it up in Petaluma, California, and I carried my Polaroid, took pictures, and also I carried just a regular little snap and shoot camera that you had to have developed. And I have a lot of backstage American Graffiti pictures, not necessarily shot with a Polaroid.
Yeah.
One day I'll make a book and show you that one.
You mentioned that your character, Debbie Dunham, that you were a lot like her.
Yeah. If you got a back seat, I'll be back there. Just give me a burger.
Tell me about George Lucas and what he was like to work with.
Well, back then, he was very quiet and introverted. He's blossomed with becoming a billionaire. He really has. He's pretty chatty. But back then, he was starting out, and I think the studio was giving him a hard time, and they didn't believe in the movie, and they thought it was a straight to drive-in movie, B quality, teenagers, and they even wanted us to change the title of the movie I remember Francis Coppola came around. He was on set, and he said, we got to come up with a new title. And I said, well, what do you got? And he said, Rock Around the Block. I'm like, no, that's so bad. Now that's a B title.
Yeah.
And I said, I really like American Graffiti. It has a really good flow, and it's got enough syllables in it.
It was fabulous. We want to tell everyone that your book again is titled Tight Heads. Candy Clark, thank you so much. It was so fun talking with you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.